And we are live on Facebook. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Solution Sunday. I am here with Keith Leon. There we go. All right. I don't think that'll ever go away with Facebook.
Yeah.
So good morning, Keith. Thank you so much for joining us again.
Good morning.
So Solution Sunday, because the soul is the solution. We are here as infinite angelic beings to change the game on planet Earth, to bring the earth up into heaven on earth once more. So in order to do that, we have to bring ourselves back into wholeness and harmony with the earth and with each other, and to end this separation from ourselves, from each other, and from the earth. So today, Keith and I decided we would talk about oneness. And if we're lucky, we're going to even hear oneness from Keith's dulcet tones and his guitar.
Yeah. I'll be singing a song called We Are One. And I was on the way to record CD with my writing partner. So I'm driving from Vermont to Connecticut. And I asked the angels, like, so is there anything else? Like, what do you want everyone to know? And then these words just started pouring through, and I'm driving, so I just like hit record on my phone really quick on my where I can speak, and then I just spoke the words and then put it down, and this song came in like 2 minutes, and I had all the words. And when I got there, I told my writing partner I have another song, and he's like, "Are you kidding me? Why, you were driving?" I told him how I did it, and he was like, "Oh, okay, all right," because he knows we know how to just push one button and make that happen. But I said, yeah, that's what happens. When angels speak, you grab it, you just grab it and download it. So this is really what they want you to know. And so I sang it at all my angel events. It was definitely one of the songs that got sung a lot at those events. Yeah, so you want me to do it now?
Sure, absolutely.
All right. Can you hear that guitar?
Yes.
There's a part of me that knows the answer to every question before I ask it. And there's a part of you that knows the answer to every question before you ask it. 'Cause we are one. We are one. We are one, and we know what to do. So sing this with me at home. We are one. Yeah, we are one. We are one. We are one, and we know what to do. There's a part of me that knows what to say before I open my mouth to speak. And there's a part of you that knows what to say before you open your mouth to speak. 'Cause we are one. We are one. one, and we know what to say. Sing that at home. We are one. We are one. We are one, and we know what to say. We are one, and we know what to say. We are one. We are one. We are one, and we know what to do. We are one. We are one. And we know what to say. We are one, and we know what to say. Yeah. We are one.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So let's unpack that. What does that mean? We are one. Let me see if I can switch over to my headphones here.
So I love that. It's such a beautiful message, and we do know what to say when we get quiet. We're so
Yeah.
as beings, we're so wrapped up in our mind and trying to figure out what to say and trying to figure out what to say before we're supposed to say it. And when we just get quiet and we start tuning in and we just start listening, then we do know what to say.
Yeah. Yeah. And I remember, I think on the first show that we did together, I was talking about this. The one thing that every room I've been in, I will say we can all agree that everything is energy, right? And everybody raises their hands. Okay. Yes, we can agree on that. So we all come from that energy. And this thing, like I like to call God, people call spirit, in a million different words for it. Like it doesn't care what you call it as long as you call it, I like to say. But so we're just like this energy that decided to try on a body. Hey, what would it be like to be in this meat sack, right? And experience all myriad of every emotion inside of a body. That would be so cool. So I'm going to break myself into millions and millions of parts, and then I'm going to pretend like I'm separate when I'm not. Right. So if everything is energy, we come from that energy. Just because we decided to try on this body does not mean that we're disconnected from the source of where we came. Matter of fact, it's the opposite. We're directly connected, but we get so involved in the AI, right? AI, artificial intelligence, all the TV and the radio and the, pretending we're separate and all of these things that make us like forget that we're directly connected. And so one of the things that I was teaching at a lot of my events is, when we sit, ask, and listen, there's like no question that we can't get an answer to. You just sit, a lot of people sitting, a lot of people asking, but listening until you receive the answer to the question you asked. That's the thing. We just get pulled away as soon as we ask the question. We forget that we asked the question, and then God, Spirit, Universe, angels are sending us answers everywhere, and we're missing them. There's whizzing by us, not noticing because we forgot to stay in the question. So that's what they were really telling me is like, we are one, and you know what to say before you speak. You know the answer to every question before you even ask it. And I was like, God, that is so true, in so many ways. And ultimately, when I tuned into making that a practice and kind of becoming good at it, that's when everything changed in my life, in my business, you know, going from 310 pounds to 54-inch waist to where I am now. Just everything completely changed about my life once I got clear about that. So that's one layer.
Absolutely. It's such a, I mean, that's so profound, because when we separate ourselves into body, mind, and soul, we become three pieces of one.
Right.
And we're not three pieces, we are one. And
Right.
when humanity separated into those three pieces, then we forgot the soul part. We were so focused on the physical part that we forgot that we are actually the soul. We are the non-physical. We are the part that can't be seen. But we
Right.
look in the mirror and we look at each other and we go, oh, this is who I am. This is who you are. No, that's not who we are. We are the part that can't be seen.
Exactly. Like, I love Deepak Chopra. Back in the day, he used to always kind of have everybody close their eyes and take a breath and say, you know, you're hearing my voice right now. Who's hearing my voice?
Yeah.
Because brain is processing that it's hearing my voice, but brain is not hearing my voice. Who is hearing my voice? And then he would like leave you in that, to breathe into that for a while. And I was just like, oh, that's so powerful, but so simple. And and that's what my wife Mara always accuses me of, in a good way, of having such simple but profound teachings. You know, I'm not, you come to one of my events, it's not going to be an existential crisis happening. It's going to be really simple concepts, and then we're going to do them and try them, right? and do it in the room so that I could see all the incredible miracles that happen. And what I love about what you teach is then bringing this concept, what we're talking about now, into healing the body. Because if we are one and we are made up of the God stuff, right? I'll call it God, insert whatever word you want. If we're made up of that stuff, then then what, if we know the answer to every question before we even ask, then surely we should be able to use that to heal as well.
Absolutely. And what I learned on my healing journey was that my body was showing me where I had separated myself into pieces.
Wow.
And the body is designed to reflect who we are being. And when we are being three pieces of one rather than one, the body is literally designed to show us the belief systems that are false, that we're using to separate ourselves, which is super, super amazing. You know, when we talk about everything is energy, you know, thoughts and emotions are the energy that we are as the soul. The soul is the energy that we are, the non-physical stuff. And you know, how we combine our thoughts and emotions. Thoughts are electrical, emotions are magnetic, and how we combine them is what shows up as our physical reality. And these bodies simply reflect our energy. So when we are believing that there's something wrong with us, that we're not okay, that life isn't good, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? How am I going to fix this? What am I going to do? When we run those patterns, our body goes, here, let me help you.
Yeah.
And then we go, oh no, what's wrong with my body? It's like, I better go to the doctor. I better get some pills because there must be something wrong. It's like, no, we don't really need the pills. We simply need to look and see where we have separated ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a show that I was really looking forward to watching that just came out, and they released like the first 3 or 4 episodes, and I love the actress that's in it, and it said it was a comedy, and I was like, yes. So I put it on, and it's just this woman who has the most incredible negative self-talk going on all the time, like, and we get to hear it, right? What's going on in her head, and it's really hard to watch, and I'm just like, what part of this is comedy, and I was just like, oh, and it's hard to watch because it reminded me of years and years and years ago what it sounded like inside of my head, and it just put it right here, and I was just like, oh my God, like how far have I come that it's like I'm so uncomfortable and like almost don't even want to watch this, like, because I don't want to take any of that on. Right? It's my subconscious is hearing all of this garbage, even though it's just a show. So I'm sitting there watching it, trying to say the opposite every time she says. I'm saying the opposite to try to counteract it, just so I can watch the show. So it's like, I don't think I'm gonna be able to watch it.
Yeah,
Unless
well,
yeah,
they call it TV programs for a reason.
yeah,
What we watch programs our minds.
yeah,
And
yeah,
for the most part, people just lap it up and go
yeah,
as if everything that is said is real.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like, well, wait a minute. That's not real. That's not what's true. Like, that's not how we need to think. That's not like people think people have become so accustomed to those lines of self-defeating thought patterns that
Yeah,
everybody just thinks that that's normal. It's like,
yeah,
it's not normal at all. It's not who we are as souls.
yeah, yeah. Especially from East Coast. I noticed I'm from California, and everything was like, dude, laid back, and then I moved over to Vermont and started meeting people over on the East Coast, and it was like, how you doing? Not bad. Is that anything like good? My wife would say, is that anything like good? And they're like, oh yeah, I guess it is. But it was like not bad, right? And just that one little thing, and then I just started noticing everything was kind of like that. Yeah, what's not great about that? Or it's just all these sayings that have been like perpetuated year after year after year on the East Coast, and it's all negative speak, even when speaking about something positive, which is mind blowing to me.
Absolutely. Yeah. And how many fear-based thought patterns are projected at the general public all day, every day.
Oh, oh yeah, yeah. That's as soon as I was able to stand on a stage, which has been 17, 18 years now. Ever since then, I've been standing up talking about mainstream media and just how little of it is truth. Because I was in it. I was in TV. I had to sign non-disclosures that the thing that we worked on all day was fabrication. I know that this is true. I'm not just making it up. It's not a conspiracy theory, which those words, by the way, were created by the media. So the definition of conspiracy theory is anything not reported by the mainstream media. Just FYI. So I've been preaching this for 20 years, and in every stage that I've got on, I say the only reason I'm able to say this is because I'm in a small room right now. And if I had an Instagram account with 15 million people, it'd be different.
Right.
It'd be like,
I know, which is so, I mean, that in and of itself is so telling that we can't just have a normal conversation without the fear of being yanked or being censored or
yeah,
being ridiculed or like
yeah,
it's really crazy.
yeah. And they've really done a great job at separating everybody for the last year and a half. Do you remember it? 2 years ago, we could have a conversation where we didn't agree on everything 100%, and it was conversation. And now it's like, if you don't agree with everything I say, I will delete you from my account. Like, wow, really? One guy said, I family members. He like lost family. He literally blew out family members during the political season because they didn't agree with his political stance. It's like, wow, wow, wow. Wow, that changed fast. It flipped really fast. But that's the power of that, of the mainstream media.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it shows the power of our minds that, we can separate ourselves inside and then it shows up on the outside. And like we are one. There is no
Right.
need for the separation. There is no need for any of that.
Right. And that's why I love to share what we're talking about today, and what I was singing about is the answers that you need are within. They're not without. They're not out there. And the answers that can be trusted come from within. And usually the first time, because of all of what we were talking about, the subconscious mind being reprogramming and all that, we always get the correct answer the first time. So believe your first instinct every time, because the second one that comes in, that's the programming. And then you go, the third one is trying to counteract the reprogramming. Oh no, but my first instinct was that. And then another one comes in, and then there's this tug of war that goes back and forth with trained subconscious mind and direct download from source, right? And you go back and forth so many times that a lot of times you forget which one was first. So I suggest getting a first instinct journal. You write down the question you're going to ask of the universe. You ask the universe the first answer you get, write it down. That's the first instinct. And if you will do that and trust it and always do what you wrote, no matter what, you say, I will not deviate. This was my first instinct. I'm going to do it this way, even though my mind's saying this. What I wrote, I'm going to trust that. And you do that, like that alone would change your whole life. That one tip that I just gave you will change everything. It'll change your business because you always know what to do there too. It'll change your relationships because you always know what to do there too. It's just all that thinking, little liar voice, I like to call it, that comes in and tells you lies and tries to talk you out of what you know is right, because it was the first thing that you downloaded from source, because we are one.
Yep, absolutely. When I found myself in facing this cancer monster, my first instinct was, well, what do I do? Do I go to the doctor? And the energy that came back from that question was like so full of fear and doubt and worry that I knew in the moment that was not my path. Like, it was so completely clear. But then the rational mind comes in and goes, but what else are you going to do? Like, you can't just heal yourself. Nobody just heals themselves. You've never seen anybody that just heals themselves.
Right.
And so then I had that whole back and forth that you were describing going on for a long time, until finally, I kept asking the angels. I kept asking for guidance. It's like, what else do I need to know? What else is going on here that is going to help me? Like, how can this get easier? And I started just asking these questions until finally one day I got my mind quiet enough and the answer just dropped right in. It was like, hey, Lise, your body's just going to heal itself if you trust it. And I went, oh. And the download was, hey, there's you and your body. That's it. There is nothing else going on here. There's you and your body's out of balance because your thought patterns have been out of balance. You've been in guilt and doubt and shame and fear. And it's like, when you get quiet and bring yourself back into alignment, your body will just bring itself right back in. And it's like, oh, I get it. And in that moment, I realized the whole model of disease It's not what's happening to our bodies. Like, simply, it's not. Like, our bodies go out of balance when we separate ourselves. And
Mm.
when we bring ourselves back into alignment and wholeness, bodies come right back into alignment and wholeness as well.
Mm. Powerful.
Right? We have Michelle joining us this morning, and Kathy. Michelle says, I can so relate, Keith. I notice this in life with people. I always think, don't say that about yourself. I realize how far I've come because I used to talk to myself that way. And
Mm.
Kathy says, a restaurateur told this to customers: if you don't agree, don't come to my restaurant. Very sad. She said, we love
Wow.
the food there, but we won't go back because we don't need that energy.
Right. Right. That was a pretty clear directive.
Right.
Not a match. And if he's the chef, then that means this energy's in my food too. Right?
Exactly.
Ah!
Yes.
Run away. Run away. Wow, that's very, very interesting. Yes, and so then we all have ways that we get answers, right? So you're able to tune into your body, really listen to your body. I was talking about, asking a question and breathing into the answer. There are tools that some people say, well, I don't have all that, Keith, right? I don't have all that. Like, I don't hear angels' voices. I don't see them in the, like you do with my eyes. So what do I do? And so I created these cards. And here I'm wondering if this is even going to show up because of
there
the
you go. Yep.
blur thing. Okay, so Walking with My Angels daily inspiration deck. I thought they might fuzz out because of the interesting thing with it. So some of the art is absolutely amazing. This woman that I got to paint the angels, and so I wrote down 11 archangels' names, and the artist didn't know anything about the angels. She just was kind of an angel virgin, right? So I said, well, do me a favor. This is Michael, by the way.
Oh, wow.
I said, do me a favor. Don't Google them. Don't look any of them up. I just want you to call their name and then say, how do you want me to paint you? And whatever comes up, do it, right? So Joe Feel is, it is blurry. Is Joy. That's a very joyful. Azrael. There's a whole bunch of them, and they're all different. I wanted to show this one. If you read my book, I talk about an out of body experience that I had, and I came down to this fire, and I talk about there was an archangel there, Raphael, and I don't say that in the book. I just say there was an old American Indian man with wisdom in his eyes, right? So when she painted Raphael, she painted the exact angel that was there at the campfire. So she was tapping into like some serious stuff when she did the artwork. And Uriel, there was a woman who showed up to one of my events who said she was looking for that Uriel, came to her years and years ago in a vision, and she was looking for any cards that had her years and years, all Doreen Virtue and all that. And so she finds herself at my event, and then I go through talking about the cards and put up that photo, and she was just like, oh, and that was the angel that came to her and spoke to her and said, I am Uriel, and so these are the kind of miracles that were happening at all the events that I had and did all over this country. And so I thought I would pull a card for today, for us today. So let's see. So for everyone on, so angels, what do you want everyone who is on this call now or watching it later to know? Fan it out, and there we go. I see it. All right. Okay. Archangel Gabriel is what most people call this archangel. When the first time that I evoked in invited Gabriel into my life, it was, excuse me, it's Gabrielle. And I said, oh, okay. And so, so it's Archangel Gabriel or Gabriel. It's fine. Angels come to us in a way that we would be able to accept them. They are neither male nor female. And so I was raised by women, didn't really have a man around, feel more comfortable with women. So not a surprise to me that she would come as a woman and say, it's Gabrielle, it's Gabrielle. Okay. So the message for today is, and I'm not going to be too surprised if it's not far off from what we've been talking about so far. You can truly do, be, and have anything you put into action guided by your faith. Okay, let me do that without flubbing it. You can truly do, be, and have anything you put into action guided by your faith. Believe in yourself, and we will assist you in making your dreams come true. Right? So you know the answer to every question before you ask it. You know what to say before you say it. You can heal your body. It's like everything that we were just talking about for the last 30 minutes summed up in 2 sentences by Gabrielle.
Love it. Absolutely. All answers come from within. My teacher, Jim Self, always says, the answer lies where the question is asked. But normally we ask the question and then we go off looking for the answer. It's like,
right.
No, everything comes to us.
Right. And if you do have to go into the world right after you ask the question, then keep spinning the question as a mantra over and over in your head. And then that way, when it does show up out there, you see it. Oh, there's the answer. Oh, the first song on the radio when I turned the car on, right? The lyrics are the answer to the question. Or somebody walking up to you saying, I don't know, I'm supposed to tell you this, but, and then they answered the question. Or I've had where I asked a question and then people walking by having a conversation, literally the answer was in what they were saying. I'm just like, wow, that's so cool. I love it. So, and you can ask specifically, who showed me the answer in this form, or like that, or like that, or like that, or I want you to know I'm okay to hearing your voice. If you want to speak with me, I'm open to that. No problem. Or if you want to show yourself to me, no problem. Let them know all the ways that you're open, because angels specifically, especially guardian angels, they're just supposed to love you unconditionally, get you to your predetermined expiration date. And that's really all they can do unless we ask them for more. And then as soon as we tell them we're open, we're inviting them, then they're excited. They're just like, yay, now we get to play.
Absolutely. People forget that so much, that angels can come and make changes in our own lives and for the earth itself, for humanity. But they can't come in and interfere. So they have to be asked, they have to be invited, they have to be guided. It's like, hey, I need some help with this. Will you help me with this? Come on in and let's work this out.
Yeah, we do have that free will piece. That's why we have to ask, because we're like, oh, I can't do anything other than what I'm asked, because it's supposed to just let you live your life. But then there's just like, yes, when you ask, because it's just been loving you unconditionally, getting you your predetermined expiration date. I mean, that's like, oh. After so many years, you're like, come on, ask me. I want to play. I want to do fun stuff. I want to start showing you with like baby steps first, and then keep making grander and grander gestures as your mind opens up to it. And that's another thing too, if you've like never seen, heard, or seen evidence of an angel, and then you go show yourself to me, they don't usually do that unless like they're in a hurry to get you somewhere fast. Because for most people that would be too much, like all at once. They'd just be like, I'm crazy, get the net, get me some meds or something, because I'm hearing voices, I'm seeing things, and even though they asked for it, it still is a lot to take in. So they usually start with baby steps and kind of work their way up to something so grand as that.
Yeah, and for me, it took me a while to really allow the angels to be real for me, because we have been so, as humanity, we have been so talked out of our imagination. It's our imagination that allows us to speak to them. Like,
Mhm.
that's where the conversation happens. And we've
Mm.
been taught that our imagination is wrong. Oh, you're not seeing those angels. You don't stop daydreaming. So, oh, that's just your imagination. That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually our biggest tool, is our imagination. It's how we connect to the non-physical realms. So it took me a
Mm.
while, and it took me like a real clear conscious choice to allow this to be real, to allow this conversation that I'm having in my head to be real,
Mm.
so that I
Yeah.
can trust it.
Yeah. And today's Father's Day, so I'm thinking about my boys. But one of my boys is like, he's a manifesting machine. When when they're selling a recession and everybody's out of work, my son will have like 3 jobs. And everybody's like, I got nothing. How do you have 3 jobs? And he's like, oh, let me ask you a question. When you were a little kid and you told your dad there was a monster under the bed, what does your dad do? Oh, he told me, I'm making stuff up. Yeah, my dad went and looked under the bed, right? To make sure there wasn't a monster there. Right? When I said I wanted to make a music video, he shot a music video with me, right? He told me as I was growing up that I could do, be, or have anything that I wanted, and that words are law, and that whatever I speak comes true, but only every time if we really keep track of it, but only every time, sometimes later, sometimes quicker, but it always comes true. And so I just bought in, and so now that's my life. I speak it, I claim it, and then it happens, but only every time, the way my dad would say, right? And it's just it's mind blowing, because he really did. He just went all in. He's like, well, my dad wouldn't lie to me as a kid. Well, my dad wouldn't lie to me. He never has. I never caught him in one. So why would I think this isn't true? And then one of the things that he claimed is that people love to give him things. His money was no good, basically. And he'd go into like at Agape, my spiritual center. He went in there when the movie The Secret came out, and it was on DVD, and it was $29.99, that DVD. And we had a copy, and we had been watching it, but he decided he wanted his own copy. So he went into what he calls the library, which is the bookstore, because to him it was a library. And I'll tell you why, because even when he went in to get the DVD, he was like, how much is this? And the manager of the bookstore was like, just take it. And like his whole life as a kid, he could never buy anything, because whatever he held up and said, how much is this? The people would say, just take it. Whether we were at a flea market, swap meet, anywhere. People would give him things, because he said, people love to give me things and my money's no good. And he's been doing that since childhood. He called me a couple months ago and he said, I'm ready now to live my dreams. He's has been becoming a fabrication welder, and really like all the greatest type of welding that you can do. He's learned all of that, but his dream has always been to build and fabricate race cars, and for a team, so that he got to drive them sometimes, right? That's his dream. So he's for years been posting his beads and things that he draws and things he creates on Instagram, and people have been watching him. So he called, I guess it was maybe a month ago. He said, I'm ready. Can we get together and create? And I said, sure. And we call it visioning. Can we do a visioning? So I said, okay. So we came together. He's like, I'm ready. I go, tell me your dream scenario. Okay. So I'm working with the fabricating, working on race cars. They have a team, or they work with the team or something, so that I get to race and not professionally in the race, but I get to race the cars that I build. And so we like dreamed all this stuff. Okay, where are you going? Florida. I want to go to Florida. It's warm there, and I've always wanted to go there. Okay, great, Florida. So we dreamed up this whole scenario, and 2 days later he said, got it. I'm like, what are you talking about? He said, yeah. So this we did what we did our process. I prayed about it. I gave it to the universe, and I went about my business. I was on IG, Instagram. Um, one of the people that's been following me for years said, "Hey, we want to offer you a job because it's like a family, and the father is the only one who can do the really, really high end TIG welding and all the super high end type of welding, and they're getting way, way more work than they know what to do with of that type of work. So dad can't do it all. So they're literally going to build him his own space, all of his own equipment right next to dad, right? He's going, it's in Florida, and right next door to them is a race team, and they build all of their cars, and he'll be able to race the cars. And it's just like everything that we said. 2 days for this kid. 2 days it took him to manifest. And then he was thinking, fear started coming in a little bit. Oh my God, I'm moving all the way from Oregon to Florida, for a job offer and all that. And so what can I have that would be like a backup plan? So he had that thought. What can I have for a backup plan? Another company called him from Florida, said, hey, we'd like to offer you a job. He said, I just took one. They said, okay, well, we're only about 90 minutes from there. So if it doesn't work out with them, come over here.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Because
we're
he believes
infinite
it.
beings. Ask and it is given is the law of the universe.
Yeah. And he believes it so much that it is, right? It's like that just speeds up the process when you can, feelingize it is what I call it. So we didn't just visualize it, like what it is. What does it feel like when you're in your brand new place? What does it feel like to have this? That feelingization. My friend coined that term years ago. His name is Fletch Rainey, and he said when you feel it, like that ramps up the time that it manifests. So visualize it'll happen, not always fast. Feel yourself having it. What's it like to be in that house? What's it like to be in that job? Feel it usually ramps up the time of manifestation. It's like, okay, I'll try that. Why not?
And I would say that your son doesn't believe that that's what's going to happen. He knows that that's
right.
what's going to happen. There's a huge difference between believing and knowing. And most people don't ever go past the believing because they're like, yeah, I think it'll happen. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't, and so there's that whole part of doubt in believing. But when it's like, I know this is going to happen. So like, I think your son has moved from beyond believing into knowing. And he just has absolute trust in the universe that, hey, this is what I want. Here's my order, universe. And then the universe just delivers.
Right. And then he's been doing it for so long that he's reprogrammed all the stinking thinking, right, from school and all the other places that he was programmed to believe the opposite. He just would go, no, that's not true. This is, and replace it and replace it and replace it, and constant replacing it. Erase. No, this thought. And when you've done that for so long, then it just becomes innate.
Right? Exactly. When you know that you can trust the universe, you simply trust the universe.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to believe that you can trust the universe. You can simply trust, and it always shows up. And this is like the first module in my course, the aligning with your radiantly healthy self. It's about the difference between believing and knowing. Like if you believe something, then why not move that extra step? Like when I finally realized, well, wait a minute, I do believe that my body heals itself, because every time I've ever gotten a cut, the body has healed itself, has sealed itself back up. Anytime I've ever had a sprain or a break, the body just takes care of it. So it's like, yes, I believe that the body can heal itself, but actually, I know that the body can heal itself. Like I have direct evidence that the body
Yeah.
is designed to heal itself. So I reprogrammed that and I went, wait a minute, I'm going to absolutely trust my body. I'm going to give my body the trust that it needs in order to
Mhm.
bring itself back into alignment. Because if I simply believe that it's possible, then there's still a doubt, like that I'm not completely trusting my body. And just
Mhm.
like Son, he is 100% trusting the universe. And
Yeah.
it really does, it all this, kind of the oneness really comes back into trust. Because when we are one, what is there to not trust?
Mhm. So what do you suggest for a chronic pain that's been, that I have this pain has been coming for so long and constantly, right? So 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 I get and have been really great with um, short-term things when they come on. Oh no, oh, I can heal from that. I can heal from that. But what if someone's had it for so long that they don't remember what it's like not to be in that pain, right? What do you suggest for those people?
Absolutely. Well, for one thing, there's really there's no physical condition that's actually chronic. When we come to we are creating our reality. We simply create the same thing over and over and over again. It's like Groundhog Day. It's like we wake up in the
Mm.
morning and we expect the pain to be there. So then we simply keep recreating.
Creating it.
So once we realize, all right, wait a minute, there's an energy pattern that's actually generating the physical structure. So we have to go back and we have to look, what's the energy pattern? And
Mhm.
sometimes it's simply the pattern of, I don't trust that this is going to go away. So we just keep expecting the same thing over and over again. So like there are a couple of different ways to approach it. One, we can look at what the underlying thought pattern is, because the body will tell us, a chronic pain is, oh, there is a self-devaluation in there somewhere. And the self-devaluation simply could be the pain itself. Like, oh,
Mhm.
my body's in constant pain. That would be the self-devaluing the body. And then, we can do things like block therapy, which is, we're addressing the actual physical structure of the body. We're starting to melt the fascia because
Yep.
where the pain is in the body is the fascia has locked down into an unnatural pattern. So when we melt that fascia, we can unlock that pattern, which will then also unlock the self-devaluation that goes with it. So we can
Mhm.
unlock the thought pattern or we can unlock the physical structure. And those are both locked together. So we can approach it from either side
Right.
and the other side will unlock automatically.
Wow. That's great. Cool. Yeah, I get that question, so I wanted to hear your
Oh,
take
yeah,
on that.
we've
I
been
love it.
programmed to believe in chronic things because chronic makes a lot of money for
Yeah, I
people.
was gonna say it sells a lot of pills.
It does. Chronic is a big business, and we've just simply accepted that it's a reality. And it's not a reality at all. Our bodies are not meant to be in chronic conditions. I worked with a
Mm.
woman recently who had been on thyroid medication for like 20 years. And once she realized, well, wait a minute, my body can actually heal this. Yeah. It's like she's no longer on the medication. She has weaned herself off the medication. She started trusting her body and bam, good to go.
Mm.
She just had no idea.
Yeah.
But once you understand the body is designed to rebalance itself only every single time.
Yeah, but only every time. Yes.
We have Michelle here. She's saying, I also think that many of us were taught that talking with angels or spirits was wrong and against
Mm.
the religious teachings. It takes a
Mm.
bit of work to release those beliefs. That's so true.
Yeah. Yeah, I do get that a lot. And I learned to kind of address it early on in my angel events. Uh, just let all my Christians off the hook right to begin with. Because I remember meeting a man who goes and he speaks a lot at prisons, and he was like a preacher and very, very Bible based, and he was like, where in the Bible did just an average man talk to an angel? I mean, those people were special that the angels came to. They were like the prophets, and they were the 12, and they were this and that. And when did Joe average get an angel visit in the Bible? And I said, well, every Sunday at the end of the service, you say, does anybody want to be saved? Do you want to come to Jesus? And then you call them up front, and then you pray, and then they get saved, right? And he said, yeah. And I said, okay, so is Jesus in the flesh? No. Is he etheric? Yes. Could be called an angel at this point? Yeah. Okay, so you're asking him to be saved by an angel, and then you evoke, so you pray, asking the angel to deliver them from their pain, to come into their heart and change their lives, right? Yeah, so you're doing an angel evocation. They're accepting an angel's support and guidance, and then they're having transformation in their lives. So we're saying the same thing, we're just using different words. And he was like, what? Wait, what? He's like, you just, wow, okay, I gotta go, but I enjoyed you, Keith. He just opened his mind in a few different ways, and it's because we're saying the same thing, just using different words. So it comes down to semantics, right? He's doing an angel evocation every Sunday, right? And then telling me that there's no angels, that we shouldn't be talking to them, that's bad or whatever. But yeah, it's and for the sake of my book, I call them angels because I've had direct experience with angels, like seeing them, hearing them. Had one come literally in the flesh to work with me, and so I call it angels. But I tell everybody, you can call it spirit, God, universe, Jesus, Allah, Jehovah, Buddha, Muhammad. Like, it doesn't care what you call it, as long as you call it. It doesn't care what you call it, as long as you call it. We are one. Go within, ask the question, saying the same thing. I just said it 15 different ways. But it's all the same thing. So whether it came from the Bible or the Torah or the Kabbalah, mystical Kabbalah, or it's all saying the same thing, just putting different words on it, so that because the word and the angels or spirit, God, comes to us in the way that we will be able to understand it. So for some people, that's the Bible. For some people, it's the Torah. For some people, it's the word of a friend. For some people, it's angels. But it's coming. It's just coming in a way that we'll be able to hear it, process it, and do something with it.
Yeah. Yeah. And Michelle says, I love that, Keith. The way I look at it too is that when we're not in these physical bodies, we are the angels. Like, it's who and what we are. We are non-physical beings. We're just simply in physical bodies, so we can have a physical experience on this planet. If we weren't in the physical body at this moment, we would be angels hanging out around the planet. So we are one. You are we, and we are you. Like,
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And at my spiritual center, Agape, it's such a loving group and a large group. And as a singer, you want to be the one that gets called to sing every week, right? So when someone else gets called, and maybe you feel like they're getting called more than you, and this happened to me, sometimes, the ego can jump in and go, hey, how come they get more than me, right? And I remember one time Mara saying, she is you, right? You're the one that taught me this. She said, we are one. When she sings, you are singing. When you sing, she is singing, right? So if anything, all of you should be happy anytime the other one gets chosen, because you're being chosen every time. You taught me this, Keith. Wish I had $100 for every time she said, and you're the one that taught me this. Right? And she brings me back to my things I taught her, so many years ago, and sometimes had forgotten or forget in the moment. And that's what's beautiful about our relationship is, we're constantly reminding each other, and we hold each other to a really high accountability level, right? Of 100% responsibility for everything that we say. So and manifest and have in our lives, and so when we hold each other to that high level of accountability by reminding each other the truth, then that's why we've been able to manifest the incredible things that we have in our lives, right? Including each other.
Absolutely. Wow, that's so beautiful. I love that.
Yeah.
Great. And we are source. And when we get right down to it, whatever name you want to call it, source, God, the universe, the quantum field of infinite love,
Right.
whatever it is. When I was 2 years old, I remember just lying in bed and just being one with the unified field of unconditional love. It was just, that's what it was. I realized that this is just, I'm an attention point. I mean, those words weren't in my head at 2 years old. I'm an attention point, but it was clear that I could just simply look at humanity. I could look at the earth, and it's like, this is who and what we are. We are not these physical bodies. So, we can't be separated from source, from this unconditional love. We can turn off our awareness to it, but at the core of who we are one, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's so beautiful. This has been such a great conversation. I know we're getting to the top of the hour, and I want to respect your time on this beautiful Father's Day, this solstice. So everyone who is listening can, happy solstice on this Soul-lution Sunday. This is where in the Northern Hemisphere, it's the longest day with the most light. And it's the day that the light is starting to return in the Southern Hemisphere. There are so many amazing things happening on this planet right now. And we are taking the planet, the whole game of being human, to a brand new level of wellness, well-being, and oneness, allowing that harmony to come back to the earth. So wherever you are on this beautiful Father's Day solstice, we wish you a beautiful, blessed day. And Keith, thank you so much for gracing us with your presence again today. So
You're welcome.
wonderful.
You're welcome. If you liked the song and or angel cards, if you go to beyondbeliefbooks.com, beyondbeliefbooks.com, they're both there.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We
Mm-hmm.
always look forward to having you as a guest. We love that you're a regular on our show, and this is just, it's always such an honor to have you.
Thank you for having me.
You are
Appreciate
very
it.
welcome. So thank you all for joining us today. And until next week, create for yourselves a great week. Thank you all.
Bye.
All right.
Bye, everyone. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.